Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and welcome back to the channel. And while I was in college, I managed to save up about $10,000 in less than 6 months or so. And I did this by working various different jobs, doing businesses, and also doing sales. Now, in this video, I'm going to give you 9 things I personally did in college to earn at least over $1,000 from each of them. And that basically made me be able to basically save a lot more money. And by the way, some of these ideas make you more money, some don't make you as much money, but they take less work. So it's all up to you on how you actually want to do it. Now, I'm going to separate this video into 3 categories. I'm going to have basically sales, labor, and also entrepreneurship. Those are the 3 main things I did while I was in college to be able to earn money. Now, do me a favor and smash the like button and let's get right into it. The very first thing, guys, is going to be sales. Now, this form of sales does not involve me going door to door and trying to find out if that person is interested. Although I did try to apply for a lot of those jobs and thankfully I didn't get any of them, but it kind of sucks. I don't really like those jobs, but they do build some skills. But what I did do was I sold phones, I sold sneakers, I sold my personal items, and I also sold a lot of things on eBay by going to Goodwill, going to people I knew, getting their things for a discount, and then putting it on eBay. Now, I do have to say that whenever I used eBay, it was for items that I did not have a personal market to sell to, because when you sell on eBay, they're going to charge you about 10 to 13% usually in fees just in the transaction. So you're basically going to make less money, but you do have more customers available. So if you're having a hard time selling something, I put it on eBay and that way I get rid of it quickly. Now, how much money did I make from this? I probably made over $10,000 easily because I sold so many phones, so many game consoles, so many sneakers that I basically had, and so much of my personal garbage that basically made me a good amount of money. I think the biggest profit I ever had, believe it or not, was on a snow globe I bought for $2.50, and I think I sold it for over $50 to $70. And when you basically divide those numbers, it's basically more than like a 15 to 20x, which is absolutely insane. So that was like one of my best items. But Tommy, how would I go about this myself if I actually want to do this? Well, I actually prepared for you guys an example right here, and I'm going to show you exactly how I would basically shop for a phone, buy it, and sell it for a profit, okay? Now, the whole idea is I would basically use eBay to find out what something is worth. So let's say I'm actually looking for an iPhone 13 Pro Max. Click it right there, boom. And what I'm looking into is basically finding out what they're basically selling for. Not these prices, is basically what people want. I want to see what they actually sold for. So I'm going to go into the filters and go where it says sold items and completed items and click them. And it's going to show me what they're actually selling for. Right here I can see 450. I can also see, well, 450. I can also see 529, 500, 460, 585, but they took an offer. Whenever you see a line, it means they took an offer basically. But usually you would be tempted to basically say, well, they're selling for 500, right? Well, no, those are like the highest prices. I would basically try to go like somewhere around the middle and say they're basically selling for about 450. Now, how do I find out this, okay? If they're selling for 450, at what price do I have to buy to be able to make a profit? Well, it's pretty simple math, and here's how you actually break it down. So you have, for example, what is basically sold for. So let's say 450. Then you want to subtract, for example, the eBay fees and some other fees that might be involved. And I usually subtract about 13% for that. And then I subtract about $10 for shipping. And then I subtract basically my profit. 450 multiply by 0.87, that's basically minus 13%. That leaves me with about $391. I would minus, for example, $10, and I would get about $381. Now, I would want to make at least a profit of 50 bucks or so, right? So minus 50 bucks, and it tells me, hey, you want to find this product selling for about $330 or less. If you buy it for more than $330, that's going to be eaten into your profit. So how would I go about finding an iPhone 13 Pro Max for less than $330 when they're selling for about $450 to $500. Well, my biggest resource was always people I knew around me, but also Facebook. So I would switch from my eBay tab over to Facebook. And on Facebook, here's one. This one is basically selling for about $275 to 13 Pro Max, 512 gigs, and it is fully unlocked. Now, what does that mean? Okay, it basically means if I'm able to buy this item for $275, right? Well, if I minus $275, that would basically say, hey, I'm gonna make more like about $106 off of this one product. And that is a good return on my money, you see? And I did that over and over again, not just with phones, but with game consoles, controllers, things, t-shirts, jeans, things I found in Goodwill, and so on and so on. And that's how I basically decided what I was going to buy and what I wasn't going to buy. Before I bought an item, I would always check on eBay and see when was the last time this item sold. If it was like a month or like weeks, then I'm not buying it because it takes a long time to move these products, okay? So it all depends if you're patient or if you're not patient. It's not really a patience thing. It's more about like, when do you want the money by, right? Different ways to do business. Now, number two, guys, is going to be things I did for labor. Now, labor is good because labor gives you consistency. You work a certain amount of hours and you get consistent pay based on the hours you work. The bad thing about labor is you have to work to make money. There is no passivity to it. On top of that, you don't get paid based on your effort, you get paid on the hour. If in 1 hour you're able to flip 50 burgers and Paul is only able to flip 20, doesn't matter. You guys get the same hourly wage. I never liked that about those jobs, okay? But I'm going to talk about 3 jobs I had while I was in college. I did basically for labor. One was work study. These are jobs you actually get in college. The benefit is they're very flexible because they work around your college schedule. I got paid around $8.75. These jobs usually pay minimum wage. Number 2, I actually worked at the Gap. Retail. Most people in college work retail jobs. That paid me about $10. I did not like it because, I remember we had like goals in the store. If you sell this much, it's going to be great. That's our goal. I didn't get a bonus, right? I didn't get a part of those profits. It doesn't really motivate me to sell more, if you know what I mean, okay? And then third, I actually worked as a PA on a movie set. That sounds cool. And I got paid about $15 to $18. I cannot remember how much I got paid in these jobs because for the most part, it's like a blur. And here's why it's a blur. Although I got paid more money than all of my other jobs, this job required me to be on the set for about 12 to 14 to 16 hours sometimes. It was insane. I think once I worked like over 24 hours and I was like, yeah, this is crazy. And I saw so many people with bad habits when it came to cigarettes and other things and caffeine addictions because the job is like so stressful. Yes, you make a lot of money in a sense, but it's going to basically drain the life out of you. And I said, no, this is not for me, okay? Not for me at all. So benefit to labor, you get consistent income and you know how much you're gonna get paid, but it is not passive. And for the most part, I don't like these type of jobs, honestly, because it just feels like you're kind of just like stumped. Now, number 3, entrepreneurial jobs. Now, entrepreneurial jobs really usually are a lot more difficult and people don't like them because they do require that you do invest at first. And sometimes the investment is not, for example, money based or taking a course, but it just might mean time. You invest a lot of your time, you don't get any money in exchange, and then finally you may have a chance to actually make money, to actually turn a profit. Now, what I did while I was in college was basically I had a job doing eBay dropshipping or as an entrepreneur, and my first month I managed to sell about $20,000 in sales by doing this guy. His name was like Paul Gillipsy, I think it was. I did his course and it was pretty good. I was like drop shipping Titans, I think it was. But I made like around like from that $20,000 in sales, I made around $16,000 to $2,000 in 1 month. And you might say, well, that's not much. The answer is it was a lot to me because it did not require that much work at all. And I had people working for me and they basically did most of the work. And that to me was more than enough. It was pretty fair, honestly. And then I also did YouTube. And from YouTube, I made $3,000 in the very beginning, $10,000, $25,000 in a month, and for the very first few years, I made zero money because YouTube it isn't just like what I thought in the beginning, which is basically you make videos, people watch them. No, you have to make something people actually are interested in, provides value, and can continue to be watched by more people even as time passes. So you do have to practice YouTube, learn about YouTube, understand YouTube to make money from YouTube. But you may not make money the first year or the first few months. And I think that's good because if you get like if you do get monetized too quickly, you kind of a lot of people like have like this one video that did very well, and then the next video doesn't do that well, and they get demotivated. But when you're just like basically grinding and grinding, you basically just work harder for longer, if you know what I mean. Now the third thing I did was photography. This is what I did, and I didn't make that much money from photography. I did my cousin's wedding. I think I did like another like a birthday party. I did some baby showers and some personal photography and some modeling gigs, and I even did, for example, a sports shooting with the Westchester Knicks or something like that. And I could not stand that job, man. I did not like it. I tried a lot of things in the art sector with the movies and the cameras, and I just did not like it. What I actually liked the most involved a camera and video all of a sudden, right? But it was more about teaching and value and those things, right? The big benefit to doing your own thing is you can do it on your own time. It can keep earning you money and so on. But here's the overall idea that I'm going to leave you guys with in the final part of the video. If you are in college and you don't know what you want to do, college is not the place to try to figure out what you want to do. It's a very expensive way to figure that out because you're paying a bunch of money. I would probably drop out, honestly. That's just my personal opinion. But if you are there and you're going to stay there and you're basically trying to figure things out, then one of these jobs could basically become your career. But try to find something that you actually are interested in so you might be able to turn it into a career. Now, if you are in college and you do know what you want to do, and this is just basically like a side thing to be able to earn money, try to find something that's the most flexible or something involved with your major. That way you can make money, but at the same time gain knowledge, and that's going to add value to your career and so on. I learned a lot, man. I made good money while I was in college. I basically wasted most of it, but you don't have to do the same. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope it helps you. And comment down below, what was your first job when you were in college? See you guys next time, and peace.